Good morning. I'm Andrew Whaley. Today I am coming to you from the church's nursery, the room of smelly diapers and goldfish crackers, sippy cups, loud squeals, and crocodile tears. But also the room where children first come to know church as a place that is safe, as a community who love them, where a life with Jesus begins in the deepest parts of our hearts and minds to feel like where we are at home. Did you know that before Christianity, people didn't really think about the needs or the importance of children? Jesus, our Lord, actually changed all that with the words that he said about children that were recorded in the Gospels. So here's some of those words today from Matthew chapter 18. At that time, the disciples came to Jesus and asked, "Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" He called a child whom he put among them and said, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoever becomes humble like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Whoever welcomes one such child in my name welcomes me." This question the disciples ask is repeated over and over again throughout the New Testament. Who is the greatest? Perhaps that's because it was so important to the people of antiquity to mark who was greater than somebody else. Maybe it's also there because it's still the question that we keep asking. This insatiable need that we have to achieve. For those who struggle with that achievement, this pandemic time has been really challenging. It feels like our life has been put on pause, and so the DVD or the CD keeps spinning in the player, but no progress is made in the plot of the story or in the music on the recording. We're just stuck in this place, and so all the programs, projects, things that we're going to accomplish to prove our worth, they're on pause. We can't do them. And if we thought that we were coming out of that, if the finger was about to press the play button once more, now we're seeing these COVID numbers begin to climb again. More and more hospitalizations, ICU beds overwhelmed. Some major cities have been put back on lockdown and with curfew hours. How long are we going to keep spinning in this place? So maybe we can hear the words of Jesus here a little differently in this pandemic time. Jesus takes this child and places it among the disciples when they ask who's the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. The word for child in this passage is the word teknon. This Greek word is used also in the stories of Matthew and Luke when they talk about the birth of Jesus. So when Jesus picks up a child, a teknon, he's not taking a third grader and putting them in the middle of the disciples. He's putting a toddler in the middle of the disciples, someone who might come to a nursery like this. Why? Well, perhaps because toddlers aren't worried about who's the greatest. Toddlers live in the present moment with wonder, and they marvel at everything around them, for everything around them is new. Spying a bug flying inside the house, running straight into that puddle to splash in the driveway, calling out the names of every family member, eating a piece of watermelon, singing a favorite song over and over again. A toddler is not lost obsessing over the memories of the past. A toddler's not distracted by the plans that need to be made for the future. They're right there in the present moment, marveling and wondering at the colors in the sky, the looks on others' faces, the joy that can be found in the simplest of experiences. And Jesus says, you have to become like this child to get into the kingdom of heaven. Now, if you are trying to achieve greatness, you think, okay, Jesus, give me the step-by-step plan to become like this technon, to become like a toddler. I will begin to prepare my schedule so that I am present to the moment. I'm not obsessed with the past. I'm not planning too much for the future. No, I don't think it's that linear for Jesus. For when Jesus begins to preach in the Gospels, he says the kingdom of heaven has come near. The kingdom of heaven is not always something that is in the distant future. The kingdom of heaven is bursting around us right now, if we're living in the present moment to see it. For you see, a toddler in many moments is experiencing the kingdom of heaven right now. The kingdom of heaven that we miss when we are obsessed with our plans or when we're lost in our failures. So maybe what Jesus is telling us today is that we all need to spend a little bit more time in the nursery and a little less time in the office or the sanctuary or the committee meeting or the choir rehearsal. Come in and change a diaper, clean up the spit up, dry the tears, read the story on the floor, sing the song, drive the truck. Be present with your teacher, the toddler. For from them, we might just learn how we can see the kingdom of heaven.